Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Hearthstone Major at PAX East, presented by the One Nation of Gamers. My name's TJ, and I'm joined by That's Admirable. And we're about to jump into another matchup. That's going to be Amaz versus Ultima. This is still a round of 64 match, so we still got lots of Hearthstone Major action to go left this weekend. Again, we're going to be broadcasting the rest of the day today, and then, of course, we're going to be continuing and finishing off the Major tomorrow. So if you like to watch competitive Hearthstone, if you want to see probably the last, at least, Major before the sweeping changes, not only standard format, but also Whispers of the Old Gods, then this is the place to be right now. Is it not, Admirable?
It certainly is. We've seen so many great matches here. Amaz was in one of the crazy matches we had versus Sam Stock. But the match we saw earlier today was bananas. And I am looking forward to seeing what we got coming up in this one as well. Ultima is bringing a Druid, Hunter, Shaman, and Warlock, while Amaz is bringing Druid, Paladin, Shaman, and Warrior.
Yeah.
What's so funny?
Yeah, really. We're starting to get pretty far into the day here at the Hearthstone Major. But yeah, Amaz yesterday, of course, we mentioned in the match versus Sam Stock that we had a Control Warrior versus Control Warrior mirror, but it was a Control Warrior mirror like no other, where Amaz was playing sort of a more standard version, and Sam Stock was playing a Dragon Warrior version, where he was just smacking the face.
Just got to SM work.
He was just playing his weapons and smacking the face. Valiant effort by him, but Amaz, other than that, got some strong decks overall. Ultima seems like his lineups matches up reasonably well. That Hunter deck is going to need to sort of match up against that Paladin if he's going to want to be able to take consistent wins with that. But Ultima, of course, another one of those open sign-up players, so we don't know too much about him. And we'll see if he can make another upset. Of course, we saw a Scrom earlier take out Strifecrow. So that was one of the first upsets we've seen so far this tournament, with one of the open players beating one of the more known players, one of the more popular pro players. And Strifecrow is probably one of the strongest players in the tournament, a lot of people would have said going into it. So that was really cool to see. And we'll see if Ultima can do the same against Amaz.
Yeah, bans have come in. It looks like Amaz's Warrior is going to be banned, while Ultima has had his Warlock banned. We've seen a lot of Warlock bans over the course of this event so far. A lot of people regard it as the best deck that's out there. I can't blame them for it. Warlock is a very scary class to be playing against. So Druid, Hunter, and Shaman matching up versus Druid, Paladin, and Shaman. Honestly, I think from this lineup that I think Ultima actually has, from the lineup perspective, has an edge here.
Yeah, I'd say so. The Warrior ban makes sense. If he can take a quick win with Hunter, then he's got a great shot. All of his decks can beat Paladin, especially the Hunter. And basically, the Druids are going to match up relatively evenly. The Shamans are going to match up relatively evenly. So definitely even. And the Paladins so far this weekend have really surprised me. We've seen, I think, like 6 Murloc Paladins, only 2 Seeker Paladins, and like 3 mid-range Paladins.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that's been crazy to see, is how much Murloc Paladin is actually in the in this tournament so far. I mean, I definitely would not have expected that. Hello. And I don't think the deck was really on everyone's radar quite this much. I mean, it might be the most, I mean, it might, at least on stream anyway, it might be the most popular deck that we've seen so far.
Yeah, I'd say so. I've seen a lot of Zoo Warlock as well, but I still don't think we've seen as much Zoo Warlock as we've seen Murloc Paladin, so very interesting. Of course, Amaz, one of the players playing Secret Paladin, and this is a weird deck.
Yeah, Secret Paladin, I mean, the Secret Keeper's going to be met with a Glaive Zuka early on in addition to that Web Spinner, but it's going to be Dreadscale in hand. Wow, this is Dreadscale actually is going to line up really nicely. It looked like it could have been just stuck in the hand, but here, this is a pretty big play.
What the heck is this?
TJ's disgusted.
I don't think we've seen a single face hunter this tournament.
It's a pit snake from that Web Spinner. Forgot that one existed. Amaz is going to be a kind of He's got kind of a weak turn here. I mean, Secret Keeper Shield and Minibot. That's going to be a Houndmaster for Ultima if he wants it.
I would say yes, please.
This is looking awfully scary.
And that Dreadscale is just going to keep cashing in.
How do you want to play this? So Houndmaster for sure. Is he going to take out the Secret Keeper here?
He's got the Glaive to do that.
Yeah, I'm just going to use the weapon on it. That Dreadscale is going to clear off that Divine Shield. And 6-4. This is we got a game here, boys.
Oh my goodness gracious! The Keeper of Ultima can't even be used as like a removal here. You can bring the Dreadscale down to a 3/3, but you can't even trade up into it after that.
Look at him.
And he's going to take so much damage. That's 10 damage being represented on the board. He might have to play the Keeper of Ultima defensively. Not even to try and take control of the board, just to try and stop taking damage.
Let's pull 3 power off the board. Yeah, that's exactly what it has to do. I mean, none of his plays look good right now. So it's that and go for Amaz. Oh my gosh.
Is this another Reno Hunter?
I mean, it could be. Kill Command's looking mighty tempting here. Let's take a 3-4 off the board. Pit Snake is going to be stranded in hand with that Dreadscale. Kill Command Haunted Creeper looks totally fine to me. You might want to trade in instead. Just use hero power.
Just start pushing damage. But I don't think that's what this deck is designed to do. I think this deck is just designed to take control of the board.
And here we go. 7 more to the dome. Amaz is down to 15, and it's his turn 5.
Yeah. This is so crazy. We've seen so many just nuts decks today. I think this might even be a Reno Hunter again. We haven't seen the 2 of. We're seeing some interesting inclusions. Sir Finley Murgleton is not something that we see very often. And at this point, Amaz he can't even really be surprised, because yesterday he saw even more weird stuff. What was that pickup?
That was an Unleash the Hounds.
Unleash the Hounds.
Yeah, that's going to activate that Noble Sacrifice first. This juggle's so important. Not really the one I think he's looking for. Now, this does give him a good board presence. The Dreadscale is kind of threatening his own board here, so he's forced to trade that in. But when that last Hound cleans it up, 4 more to face. This is Hero Power and Pit Snake. And Amaz is at 9, and he's facing down. Oh, not going to play the Pit Snake, actually.
Pit Snake, what?
So no lethal this turn from Ultima unless he picks up something from the Finley afterwards.
Why wouldn't he play the Pit? Why would...
Fear of Consecration is the only thing I can think of. Picks up Flare. So Hero Power, take him to 1, drop the Finley. This...
He's going to look for ping.
Oh, can this ever backfire? Oh, it's the dagger!
Oh, man.
Closes out game number 1 versus Amaz. Dreadscale did so much work.
Ultima can't help but giggle himself into a fit here, because he just beat Amaz's Secret Paladin with the weirdest hunter deck I've ever seen in my entire life.
I mean, if you land a Glaive Zuka onto a Web Spinner, it trades off into a Haunted Creeper, and you play Dreadscale, it doesn't even really what happens after that. You're usually just in pretty good shape from that sequence of plays.
I mean, I guess so, but when your deck has... Even if... Maybe that deck is specifically designed to counter Secret Paladin, because he did have a flare in it.
TJ's flabbergasted. It's going to be Druid versus Secret Paladin. Now Darkness, Aspirant, Wild Growth, Wrath. Good opening hand for Ultima. Meanwhile, on Amaz's side, Secret Keeper, Avenge, and options for Piloted Shredder and Sludge Belcher. Is going to mulligan away the Secret as well. Picks up 2 Secret Keepers, but no Secret behind it yet.
My greetings.
But if he does pick up a Secret... all of a sudden this hand looks nuts.
Yeah, that's actually one of the best ones that you can play into Secret Keeper as well. I mean, this card, one of the reasons that Darkness Aspirant was so good was actually the way it contested against Secret Paladin. Amaz picks up Coghammer, though. That is a perfect draw into that Darkness Aspirant. Punish it a little bit, get a little bit of extra damage, keep your Secret Keeper healthy, and more options next turn.
Yeah. Also, of course, getting rid of that ever-important mana ramp. Oh, BGH. Not the best pickup there. But BGH is a good card in this matchup in general, just because it's going to line up against a Mysterious Challenger if it comes out. If you can isolate a Mysterious Challenger on board, then usually a lot of times you can get good value to that big game hunter because of the Avenge proc. So, and he's debating here, but I don't think there's. I guess Wild Growth or Wrath is a choice. He's realized that he hasn't really seen Secrets yet, and there was a lot of opportunities for Amaz to go ahead and play Secrets. So he just goes ahead and decides to Wild Growth while he can, which I think is a pretty smart play.
Yeah, I think he's about to fall a little bit behind here too, unless he picks up like a keeper or a swipe or something. Amaz has kind of hit his curve. Drew of the Claw might slow things down here a little bit, but that's a keeper of Ultima in Amaz's hand. So the damage is going to keep crashing in. I mean, that keeper of Ultima has got to be aimed at that 4/6, I imagine.
Yeah, the Knife Juggler is real threatening too.
Single juggle here could be really punishing. You know, it's actually, this does play around mind control tech in this instance. So this actually isn't the worst thing in the world. Like, it's kind of an incidental play around. Not that Ultima has it in his hand, but, you know, if he had mind control tech in that instance, that might have been a way for him to get back in the game. So instead, it's going to be Wrath. Maybe a double Wrath?
Wrath for one on the Secret Keeper, perhaps. Just a cycle and hero power down. You leave the 3/4 on the board.
Yeah. Good one for him. But now that you see a swipe, Amaz is free to play Muster for Battle if he wants to. Sludge Belcher back behind as well, though. Sludge Belcher is kind of one of the clunky options in his hand, so I imagine that's going to be finding its way to the board simply because of the way it'll just match up with the mana curve. But he does put more power on board with Shield Minibot and Muster for Battle. So needs to consider the way these turns are going to look over the next couple ones. He's going to go with most power on board. And Ultima, back to square one, kind of. He's scaling his way up the curve, though, and that's something that Druid really needs to do. It needs to get to these later mana turns and have safe plays. So, some card draw coming in for him. Shady Extramus, no help at the moment.
Oh, man. And no... Oh! But Blessing of Kings is going to punish this pretty heavily. He still has a board clear next turn, though. Yeah, with Swipe and Wrath, so that's going to reset. He's going to take a lot of damage, but Amaz still hasn't drawn into one of those big bombs yet. He still hasn't drawn Mysterious Challenger. No Dr. Boom, no Tyrion. So, no, there's still a chance for Ultima in this game.
Amaz is operating on more of a fair curve in this one, so Swipe Wrath going to take this out, and then redevelop back behind this for Amaz. But Ultima's kind of putting together some pieces here that can really start to make a big board presence. It is down to 14. And so that's going to be the window of opportunity that Amaz is looking for, is how does he push that last bit of damage? Mm-hmm. He's down in card advantage at the moment, but he'll have initiative. So if he can manage to take advantage of that, that is certainly a win condition. Shield of Minibot has to be a welcome draw right now.
Yeah. But, I mean, look at Ultima's hand. He's got Emperor Thorson. He's got Shade of Naxxramas this turn. He's going to reduce some of these key things here. Sylvanas. Okay.
It's a bit heavy-handed. I mean, Emperor Thorson, it threatens so much here. But Amaz has kind of reached one of those positions where now he has to make a real decision. He's really being put to the test here.
Ooh.
Does he trade off the Emperor Thorson, or does he just go for the face? And I think
at this point, you just got to go for it.
Yeah, that competitive spirit draw, I think, has directed his hand. He's got one direction and one direction only. Competitive spirit, 6 to the dome, it looks like, maybe. Maybe he holds back that Light's Justice, but if he's got more weapons in the deck, he's going to need every single point of damage. And there we go. If Ultima can capitalize on this board state, that's what it's going to come down to. Oh, Keeper of the Grove.
I must safeguard.
Wow, he snap calls it. I don't know. I might have thought about that turn a little more. That's dangerous. What did he attack into?
He hasn't attacked anything just yet. So he's thinking about how the secrets line up. And he's going to get the news that it's not Avenge, it's not Noble Sacrifice, it's not Redemption, and it's not Repentance. So if he's been paying very close attention, unless this is Sacred Trial or Eye for an Eye, does have some clean ones here. And Drew the Claws, this is looking pretty much like the shutdown. He's going to even trade into the Pilot Shredder. Amaz needs some massive help on this draw.
Yeah, he needs a Tyrion. Dr. Boom, but he does have a big game hunter to match it.
Yeah, but the Boombots could be what he needs as the threat. I mean, the Boombots hitting face could be Amaz's real out to win this game.
Oh, man.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 damage. Savage Roar would have ended the game this turn.
This is close. So you're definitely playing. I mean, he could play his whole hand this turn if he really wanted to.
Curious if Force of Nature to try to limit the Boombots from being a big factor.
Yeah.
It's potentially a better play. I do like that he's playing the big game hunter first because his life total is much more important than his minions at this point, I think.
Yeah. And if he clears the board and plays Sylvanas, that means Amaz can't play Tyrion off the top. He can, but he'd have to like play into a 50-50 whether or not he stole the like a 1-1 or a Tyrion, and there'd be so much more stuff on the board. Ultima looks like he's struggling with this. He's going to go ahead and Living Roots a Boombot. What's it going to hit? He could have been punished if that did hit the Emperor Thaurissan.
Yeah, it was prior to the Emperor Thaurissan attack. He's going to do it again.
Whoa!
Oh, that one goes to face for 3. Amaz.
Okay.
Oh, if that trade didn't happen. Oh, the trade wasn't there. If that Boombot would have punished Ultima, he would have lost this game.
Oh, man. This is going to come down to the wire. And combo, or Savage Roar is still lethal.
Oh, huge
my
draw
goodness.
for Ultima. That is a 2-0 lead. Amaz in the exact same spot he was yesterday, down 2 games. But last time he was here, he came back from this situation and took it 3 games to 2 afterwards. He's going to have to do it again.
Yeah. And Ultima, he's like, I'm doing it. I'm doing it, Mom. I'm doing it.
Ultima can't believe it. Look at that reaction from him. Whew. That's a tough spot to be in. I'll tell you what, I've been down 0-2 in a lot of series. I do not win very many of those.
Yeah. Whew. This is like you mentioned, this is the same exact spot that Amaz was in yesterday against Samstock. He went down 2-0 and had to fight his way back. And this is now going to be Ultima with only aggro shaman remaining, and he has to beat either a druid, a secret paladin, or a what was this their deck, or an aggro shaman mirror. I think it was. So I don't know. Those odds seem pretty good to me. Amaz, though, with a good hand for this match, has Mysterious Challenger now, so we haven't seen that in past games. But Knife Juggler into muster for battle with a noble sacrifice to sort of guard it, to protect it, is fantastic.
Ultima's playing really fast. I think the excitement's really getting to him on this one.
The punish. If that juggle hits the leper gnome, he's so punished.
Not today.
Not today.
Yeah, that could have been a terrible sequence error for Ultima in that situation.
Yeah. Now there still was a chance if he hadn't played the Argent Horse Rider first that the Knife Juggler would have hit the leper gnome and he would have been left at 2-1 on board. But considering turn 3 is the muster for battle play, you just get so much more punished. There's so much more damage that's able to be put on the board with a Knife Juggler as opposed to just a 2-1 from the Noble Sacrifice. So, a bit of an error.
Yeah, this is just going to trade on the board here. And once again, kind of operating on a fair curve here. Ultima limited to 2 mana this turn. Ooh, there's a Doomhammer. That might change things. Now, I imagine that the Ultima is probably still eyeing the Totem Golem, which does delay the Doomhammer by a turn, but probably just a better overall play. And then I'm going to... No consideration for Urshock here, but we'll have it on the follow-up turn. Yeah, it does need that trade. So I can like trade in Knife Juggler, Token, and Competitive Spirit here for Amaz. Maybe he wants to juggle first, see if he can pick off that Feral Spirit. Looks like that's what he's going to go for. Yeah, misses the juggle, so...
Ultima's going to need a lot more burn than this.
Yeah, this is looking really rough for Ultima at this point.
And not being able to play Doomhammer on turn 5 is not a situation that you want to find yourself in.
Yep, he's going to check to see what this secret is. Maybe prior to doing stuff. Lava Shock. Going to bring back that Juggler as a 3-1. Nope, not this time. It is Competitive Spirit. Ultima shaking his head, knowing it's not Avenge, likely to be Noble Sacrifice or Competitive Spirit. So Earthshock on the Pilot Shredder. And attacks face, and totem up. Yep, this would be enough for him to know that this is Competitive Spirit. That's going to proc on that 1-1. And then Mysterious Challenger's coming down, though, and I don't know if Ultima's going to be able to get past this. This is... Amaz is still sitting at 23. Draws Coghammer. This.
And Earthshock is gone, unless he fit a second Earthshock into this deck, which is very unlikely. Earthshock is a card that a lot of players are shedding from their Aggro Shaman decks. But, maybe he'll be able to piece together some burn. It's just going to be so hard. I don't think it's possible from this stage.
Lava Shocks are looking a little bit weak at the moment.
He's not going to play Doomhammer. That's so surprising. And you play, if you're going to Lava Shock this, then you play Ancestral Knowledge first. Oh, okay.
Writhing in pain.
Oh god. He got there. He got there. Go get him, Ultima. Go get him.
There's the Avenge, Redemption incoming, Noble Sacrifice back behind. And these are some rough looking plays here for Ultima. Whirling Zap-O-Matic will encourage some action from Amaz.
Yeah.
Oh. That is a weak-looking board in comparison to to the opposite side.
Yeah.
Oh, Blessing of Kings fills out the curve, too.
Blessing of Kings Coghammer is so great. If he hadn't picked that up, having to Coghammer this turn, if the taunt went on the 1-1, well, I guess he would have just Coghammered anyway, but...
Amaz says, you know what? I know your build. I know your build doesn't have Hex. I saw your Earthshock. Take 13.
Yeah.
Just this is a casual 13-12 taunt Divine Shield. Take that, Tyrion.
Gonna slam this 13-12 twice.
Good sport here from Ultima. I have never seen blowback at quite that, quite those heights before, TJ.
And you're a man who's an expert on blowback. That's for sure.
Oh. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, but Amaz is going to put himself on the board. Comeback is real. Now he's got to go into an Aggro Shaman mirror and defeat that Aggro Shaman with Druid. Definitely possible. We could be seeing another reverse sweep from Amaz. The story of the weekend for him. But that's such a good hand from Ultima.
Arcade Golem! I love this card! Why is it getting nerfed? I'm so sad.
Everybody, let's get a small moment of silence.
That is a much better hand for Ultima than it is for Amaz, I'll tell you that much. Yep, Tunnel Trog, first here.
So. Leopardo makes it a little bit better.
Not too much, though. I mean,
Feral Spirits is the key card for this matchup, though. I think Feral Spirits
Totem Golem is the key card.
Yeah.
Wow, very surprised by that Whirling Zap-O-Matic. I guess Amaz just use Lightning Bolt here. Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Is that a second Whirling Zap-O-Matic? He's just going to... Oh. He's playing so fast. This is the same type of situation that Sam Stock was in yesterday, where he got into a situation where it's up 2-0, and he didn't even think about his plays. He just said, I'm going face. I'm taking my Fiery War Axe. I'm a control warrior. I'm taking my Fiery War Axe, and I'm pointing it at the face. And Ultima's doing the same thing, and he draws a Doomhammer. He's not going to be able to play it next turn because of the Totem Golem. But he's already put 12 damage onto Amaz. But Amaz has such good card quality at the moment.
This Crackle is so important. I wonder if Amaz is going to coin this Lava Burst to prevent that from happening. He's actually going to coin the Feral Spirits here. I'm pretty surprised by that. Yeah,
me too. This Lightning Bolt is going to answer it pretty well. Ultima just needs to make sure that he gets this Doomhammer out in a timely manner. So just play. He's just going to play the Lightning Bolt. If he does that, he's still going to have enough mana to play the Doomhammer next turn. and start pumping that damage out. He wants to get through the taunt this turn to make sure he opens up room for it to happen next turn.
I mean, if he saves the lightning bolt, kind of the same thing. It does prevent one of his trades. Yeah, like the lightning bolt first here. Amaz, good trade setup for him. This
Only
turn.
2 mana.
Yeah, 2 mana is really hurting here. Now, drawing the Flame Tongue Totem, though, makes toteming up a little bit more appealing in this situation. He's got to be a little bit careful here, though. I mean, he's got to find a way to start racing. Ultima got off to a very fast start, but Amaz has diffused the situation, finds himself at 18, and he's got a pretty sizable amount of card advantage here.
Do you ever feel desperate enough as Amaz to go for Sir Finley and to armor up?
Man, see, this is the reason I think I liked the Crackle last turn. Is now he just had to Crackle it this turn. He would have had Feral Spirits on this turn instead, and now Doomhammer comes down and just starts hitting. So first to face, did he trade off on that 2-1? Yep, did trade that off.
That's smart. I like that.
This Finley could really change things. Honestly, I think Amaz wouldn't mind seeing a defensive Finley here. And I think that could really change the way that this board is going to pan out for him. But that Flame Tongue Totem in hand, these minions are going to provide so much damage long term. Ultima's left with nothing but burn in his hand. But it looks like he feels comfortable about this right now.
Oh, man. All right, well, this looks like a Sir Finley play. Yep, because he totems first. Where did Ultima go?
just left!
Oh, there he is. There's the tank up, but you go with Shapeshift.
No,
this is the exact same options that we saw earlier.
No, it's the heal, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, just start healing your face. I mean, that's going to negate a lot of that Doomhammer damage. And you're the one with repetitive damage on board right now if you're in Amaz's seat. So that lesser heal pans out to a lot in the long run. I mean, he's debating between the heal up and the Haunted Creeper right now.
Or the Flame Tongue Totem, because he has to attack into the Stone Claw Totem.
Fair point. So, it is going to be damage to face. And Ultima, Ancestral Knowledge is a welcome draw right now.
An Elemental Destruction!
That is a huge draw right now. Amaz is going to be set to 12. And now suddenly Ultima has the lead. He's got the lead in life. He's got the lead in hand. He's got the lead on board because of the Doomhammer. Knife Juggler, super important draw right here. Amaz has to get going as quickly as possible.
The thing is, Ultima has 1 mana next turn. He has 1 mana available to him. So he's just going to Snap Call Lightning Bolt. He's going to keep pushing damage. He's got so much in his hand next turn. He's got 4. He's got 11 guaranteed. And he's also got an Ancestral Knowledge. He's going to have 8 mana total unlocked with the 1 Overload. It's going to come down to the wire.
Yeah, Amaz, he needs another turn to be able to unlock this damage. He's got 4, 9, 10 of his own. He needs to draw a burn spell and not die this turn. I think Ultima's favored from this spot.
Oh, man.
Go. Rock Fighter's gonna wrap it up. Ultima, huge draw for him. He's gonna take this series 3 games to 1 over Amaz and move on in this tournament.
Wow, Ultima, this is probably the happiest Hearthstone moment of his life, taking out Amaz, moving on to the round of 32, and he is so excited with a 3-1 score. Amaz, he got the reverse sweep yesterday, but wasn't able to take it back today. What a match.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be excited about that one. I mean, what a huge upset this has to be. And Ultima, you know, I mean, taking down one of the most popular figures in Hearthstone, that's got to be a good feeling in this open tournament. And keeps his hopes for $10,000 share that $10,000 prize pool still alive in this one.
Yeah. And some Hearthstone Championship Tour points as well. I mean, this is where it all starts. This is why the One Nation of Gamers circuit is so great, because it gives these players that, you know, people that don't really have much tournament experience, but want to sort of get that experience under their belt. You know, have those tournament matches, and Ultima again, probably such a fun moment for him and a great moment for him to defeat Amaz and have a chance to move on. So Really cool to see. Really cool to see.
Yeah, wow. I mean, just what games we've seen so far today. We've seen some crazy stuff. We've seen now like 2 big upsets today in the bracket. And just,
Yeah, Strife Crow going down to Scrum earlier in the day, and now Amaz falling to Ultima. Big upsets. And we're only halfway through day 2 of a full weekend of matches. We still have the rest of the round of 64 to play through today. Round of 32 as well we're going to play through today, I believe, or at least most of it. And then, of course, tomorrow we're going to have the conclusion. But we're going to have the next match coming up pretty shortly here. I don't know what it's going to be yet. Still waiting on the word of what the next match is going to be. But, guys, make sure during the break, if you want to have a chance to compete in One Nation Gamers Opens as well, of course, the major signups are closed. But the next Open, if you're a U.S. resident for One Nation Gamers Circuit, is going to be on April 30th, so just a week from today. So if you want to go there, head over to geico.onog.gg, sign up. It's a $1,000 prize pool for the Open. And also the Open leads, if you win, leads into the feature tournament with a $6,000 prize pool. And if you win that, you lead into the grand finals at PAX Prime at the end of the year with a $25,000 prize pool. So if you want to have a chance to sort of make a name for yourself, have a chance to play against big name players like Amaz, make sure you go ahead, sign up for that Open, and start playing, because it's a lot of great fun. But we are going to have to go to a quick break, so don't go anywhere, guys. More Hearthstone Major presented by One Nation of Gamers will continue right after this.